Contra 4 is a 2D action game for the Nintendo DS and the 11th original installment in the Contra series. The game was released in North America on November 13, 2007. Contra 4 was produced by Konami Digital Entertainment in America and developed by WayForward Technologies, making it the first Contra game developed by them, as well as the first original Contra game for a portable platform since the 1991 Game Boy game Operation C. As the game's title indicates, Contra 4 was designed to be a direct sequel to the Contra games for the Nintendo Entertainment System and Super NES, with a gameplay model similar to those games, and was also in celebration of the 20th anniversary of the original Contra. A mobile phone port was released on November 19, 2007. No European or Australian version of the game has ever been released. Plot: the plot is set in 2638, 2 years after the events of Contra 3, The Alien Wars, and 3 years before the events of Contra, Hardcore. With the Red Falcon alien threat defeated and Alien Wars finished, the Earth is peaceful once again. However, a similar alien entity calling itself Black Viper begins launching attacks against the human race, causing mass destruction over the planet. After strange readings are detected at the Galaga Archipelago, the Earth Federation sends their 4 strongest Contra Force commandos on a final strike mission to destroy the Black Viper and its army of aliens, robots, and mutants. The continuity of Contra 4 is based on the Japanese canon that was adapted into the English localization of series with the release of Contra, Shattered Soldier. However, the game's producers took a number of liberties with the established canon by integrating elements of the American localizations of the older games, thus fusing the two versions together. The alien Black Viper was originally mentioned only in the North American Manual of Operation C, whereas the original plot of that game was about an unnamed superpower creating new weapons using an alien cell. In the timeline presented in the manual and official website, the events of Operation C are interpreted as a previous mission of Mad Dog and Scorpion, 2 new characters created specifically for Contra 4, against the Black Viper. In actuality, Mad Dog and Scorpion were the names used for Bill and Lance for the North American NES games. Additionally, Operation C was originally a solo mission of Lance Bean, also known as Scorpion. Gameplay: Contra 4 is based on the same 2D gameplay system featured in the series through Contra 3, The Alien Wars, ignoring many of the game mechanics introduced in later games such as the fixed weapon configurations in Contra, Shattered Soldier and Neo-Contra, returning to the old method of picking up power-up icons to obtain new weapons. The play controls are similar to Contra 3, The Alien Wars, including the ability to hold 2 weapons in inventory. The action spans both screens of the Nintendo DS system, and a grappling hook can be used by the player's character to latch onto railings, allowing the player's character to move from one screen to the other. Similarly to the arcade version of Super Contra, the player can pick up the same power-up twice, giving them an improved version of the same weapon. The player can also discard a power-up, allowing them to try out a new weapon without losing a previous one. In addition to the standard side view stages, there are also tunnel stages similar to the 2 3D view stages from the original Contra, in which the perspective shifts behind the character's back. The action in these stages is displayed solely on the upper screen, while the bottom screen is used to display the stage's map and the locations of power-ups. Other than using both screens, Contra 4 makes no usage of the DS special features such as touchscreen, microphone, or multiplayer modes. Arcade mode Arcade mode is the main portion of the game, which is composed of 6 standard stages and 3 tunnel stages, for a total of 9 stages. The stages pay frequent homage to Contra, Super Contra, Operation C and Contra 3, The Alien Wars. 3 difficulty settings are available: Easy, Normal, and Hard. Easy is intended to be accessible to novices by providing the player with plenty of lives and credits, as well as making all power-ups upgraded by default, but does not give the player access to the final 2 stages nor the ending. Normal is a moderate setting described to be as difficult as the original Contra, whereas Hard features faster moving enemies and enemy fire, with fewer lives. Hard mode also features a different ending from normal. Challenge mode after completing the main game once on any difficulty setting, a challenge mode will be made available in the main menu. This game mode is composed of 40 different challenges in which the player must complete various tasks within the side-scrolling stages of arcade mode. Weapons the player's default weapon is a single-fire rifle similar to the first two Contra games, as opposed to the auto-fire machine gun that became standard with Operation C and Contra 3. The Alien Wars. The player can upgrade to the machine gun or any of the other following weapons, by picking up the letter-based Falcon icons hidden in flying capsules or on sensors of the wall. Picking up the same power-up twice will yield the player an upgraded version of the same weapon. In easy mode, all weapons are upgraded by default. Along with Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Contra 4 also stopped using the up-power-up, which boosted speed of the current weapon. As introduced by Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Contra 4 also had two weapon slots, from which only the currently being used weapon disappeared if the player died. Playable characters. Contra 4 features the return of the original Contra duo, Bill Rizer and Lance Bean, who were last seen fighting together side by side in Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Two original characters were also introduced named Mad Dog and Scorpion. Created just for this game, the characters take their names from the American localizations of Contra and Super C for the NES, in which Bill and Lance were given the nicknames Mad Dog and Scorpion respectively. This is justified by portraying Mad Dog and Scorpion as having fought against Black Viper in the past, although this revision is not taken into account in the Japanese localization of the game. There are no differences in terms of gameplay or ability between the four main characters, as they all use the same character sprite with a different color pattern for each. Bill and Lance are depicted wearing blue and red respectively, their colors from the NES versions, while Mad Dog and Scorpion wear green and purple, the colors Bill and Lance wear in the arcade version of Super Contra. In addition to the four main characters, there are also 5 hidden characters that are unlocked after completing certain numbers of missions in challenge mode. They include the Probotector, who is based on the robot characters RD-008 and RC-011 that replaced Bill and Lance in the PAL versions of the Contra games for the NES and Super NES. Lucia, a female cyborg who first appears as the secondary playable character in Contra, Shattered Soldier, taking Lance's place as Bill's partner-in-arms. Sheena E-Transi, the female soldier from Contra, Hardcore. And Jimbo and Sully, the sprite renditions of Bill and Lance respectively as seen in Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Bonus content. In addition to the main game, Contra 4 contains a slew of extra features under bonus content in the main menu. The game begins with a museum already available, but other contents are unlocked by completing the stages in challenge mode. The bonus content are as followed. Classic Contra emulates the original ROMs of Contra and Super C for the NES. Both games can be played with the original resolution or fit to the DS screen. These two games cannot be played with another player via ad hoc, which means they are one player only. Museum. The museum is a virtual gallery containing packaging artwork and screenshots of all previous Contra games, as well as the regional titles for each game. There's also an unlockable section containing assorted illustrations and promotional materials from the series, including conceptual artwork. Comic books. There are 2 unlockable comic books in the game. The first is an adaptation of Contra 3, The Alien Wars by illustrator Atsushi Tsujimoto and written by Nobuya Nekosato, which was originally published in 2002 in the official Contra, Shattered Soldier website. The second is an adaptation of Contra 4 also illustrated by Tsujimoto and written by producer Toomhlet, which was created specifically for this game. Sound test. Listen to the game's music and audio score. Interview. An interview with Nobuya Nekosato detailing his involvement with the series. Music. The music and sound effects were handled by famed video game music remixer Jake Kaufman, who also composed for Shantae and founded the game music remix site VGMIX. The soundtrack consists of a few arrangements of music from previous Contra games as well as a lot of new material. When arcade mode is played on the hard setting, an arranged version of the jungle theme from the original Contra is played instead of the standard stage music. The standard jungle theme is actually an enhanced version of a Contra-style chiptune song previously posted on Kaufman's website, called Vile Red Falcon. A soundtrack CD has been announced by Konami to be bundled in the first print of the Japanese release of Contra, Dual Spirits, as a gift for pre-orders through the Konami-style shop. This deal is only available for Japanese residents. In addition to the music found in the game, a 4-minute live performance of the Harbor song is included as a bonus track. The song is performed by the Smash Brothers, Jake Kaufman's video game tribute band. Reception: Contra 4 received positive reviews from critics, scoring an 83 out of 100 on Metacritic. Contra 4 has been hailed as a rebirth of the Contra franchise, returning the gameplay to the classic roots of the series. It has garnered multiple awards including IGN's Best Action Game, and Best Revival of 2007, GameSpy's 7th Best Game of 2007, and one of Gaming Target's 52 games we'll still be playing from 2007. Games Radar named Contra for the 22nd best DS game of all time out of a list of 25. See also, Contra, list of Nintendo DS games. References. External links, overview of Contra 4, everything about Contra 4, Contra 4 preview and hands-on from 1up.com, Contra 4 at GameSpy.net, Konami's official Contra 4 website.